if you can see my screen. I'm sharing my screen. Do you see the rich girl presentation? Yes, yeah. Thank you. Okay, everything is good. Let's get started. So here we are. We are talking about money today. And I decided to make this presentation a 2-hour one because I can just stop talking about money. So let's start with what is money, right? Like a basic question, what is money? What does it mean? And one of the many definitions out there about money, this is the one I chose because there is other boring ones like, oh, it's a currency in a country. You know, we know that. But I want to start with one of the definitions that brings us back to history. And it says that money is any item or medium of exchange that is accepted by people for the payment of goods and services, as well as the repayment of loans. You can see it right here in the screen, that definition of money. So what does that mean? Is that it's just a medium of exchange, right? It's just a medium that we pay services or goods or we buy stuff. So before money even existed, there was bartering. And bartering was one way that people exchange goods for the other goods or services before money was created. So if you really think about it, money before was not money, was bartering, right? Like if I had the service of making clothes or shoes or something, then I will exchange that for chickens or somebody that went hunting, or you know, like you give me half a cow, I give you like 6 pairs of shoes. I don't know, something like that. So before, with our ancestors, and you know, in the time of evolution, this was what was money, or the medium of exchange. But nowadays, we don't even touch money. We don't even pay with cash. We have credit cards, debit cards. We don't even swipe the card anymore, right? Which is go and tap it, or Apple Pay, or Zelle, or stocks, or cryptocurrency. So we don't even are touching money. So why is this obsession with physical paper money like that we know, that we envision? So after all, money is a man-made story. So we don't have to be intimidated by money, because money is a man-made story. In some decades, you know, coming up decades, we might not even have money as a currency. And we can see that in El Salvador, you know, the country in Central America, they just made official their currency, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is their official currency. And also they have dollars, and they have like the Salvadorian, currency, but they're the first country that made Bitcoin their currency. So things are changing. So what is money? If we really think about it, it's not the physical paper. Now it's just some digits in our app, right? We check our bank account, we check our stocks, we check like or Zelle or Venmo, whatever app you use to pay or to get paid. That's what's there, right? Like some digit, sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's green, sometimes it's just a digit. It's just a digit. So it's not the actual physical money. And me and my husband always try to have cash in our purses or in our wallets, because sometimes we forget that transaction of getting paid or paid with cash. So I always try to make sure that I have some cash for tips, for valet, or any opportunity I get to pay with cash. I try to always like do that transaction, you know, I love that transaction of money. So if we see money from that point of view, it's not as intimidating, right? Like, oh, it's just a man-made story. What's going to be next? What's going to be next? We don't know. Maybe once our kids are like our age or older, we are going to find out that they have different currencies and stuff. So I wanted to start with that kind of like description about money, you know, so we don't feel that it's something we can't learn. And after all, we all are made of the same source material. If we go back, you know, in the Big Bang Theory and all of these, I found this amazing quote by NASA in one of their blogs, and it says that we are made of stardust or the same material. All of us are made of the same materials that are protons, molecules, and hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, all of these molecules. We're made of the same thing as the same material is our phone, our money, our husband, the house. Everything is made of the same material. If we really want to go, and see the kind of like the technical aspect or physical aspect of this, kind of like the geek aspect, we are made of the same material. And many call it the quantum field, the dark energy. And I really want to talk about the dark energy. This is like amazing, or others call it unlimited supply, source energy, God energy. So money is made of the same source or material we are made of. There is more source energy than there are things in this planet, in this universe. So guess what? Money will never run out. There is enough for everybody, and there will always be more than enough. So don't be afraid to ask for money in more abundance. So on the note of dark energy is discovered. I went like 2 weeks ago or last week, I think, to there is like a NASA thing here in Houston, and we went, and they say that humans, NASA, and all, like our planet, little planet, we only have discovered less than 5% of the universe. The other 95% is unknown. Nobody knows. That's why they're trying so hard to build all these like rockets and trying to go to like, to discover what's there in the universe. And we only know less than 5%. So that's called dark energy. That's the unknown. We don't even know what's there. So when you really zoom out from not having money or feeling scarcity, imagine how much material is out there that we can claim, that we can like try to get for us. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask for more money. Feel that you want it, right? So many, sometimes as women, we feel shame for asking money. We feel shame that if we want more, if I want this, if I want a rich husband, if I want to be a millionaire, if I want other pair of shoes, we feel shame. And it's normal, right? Like they make us feel shame for our desires as women. They see desires of a woman as like, oh my God, no. But if we really think about this 95% of dark energy that humans haven't even discovered, that's where I'm tapping. That's what I want, right? Like, give me more. And it's like if you go to an ocean of water that is unlimited, like dark energy, and you go with your cup and you're like, this is what I want. Just give me half cup. Just give me 1 liter of this source energy. And the ocean is going to be like, well, girl, it's unlimited. Why are you acting like a peasant and just asking for a little bit? You deserve a lot. And you deserve everything that you want. And I am a truly believer of that. I know that my soul here came to discover all these amazing things. And I know all of us did, but somehow we try to block that abundance and block that, just block what we want or desires. So don't be afraid to ask for more money, the luxuries, the abundance, the freedom, the joy, the pleasure in life. And we're going to be working on some limiting beliefs for sure. So, girl, let me tell you something. It's not about the money. It's about the energy. We discovered, right? It's not the energy. It's not the money, like the physical money that we have or in our bank accounts or anything. It's about the energy. So I love science, and let me throw like one of the laws here about engineering, and it's the first law of thermodynamics. And this states that energy cannot be created or destroyed. Who remembers this? Marine? It can only be transformed. So now on, we are going to be transforming our money's energy. So this is a very important law in science or this field of thermodynamics, because it really explains you and tells you that energy cannot be created or destroyed. What does this mean? The energy is there. The energy of bartering or exchanging services or goods or exchanging money or getting paid with sell is not about the money, it's the energy that you're putting behind. So you have to be aware of the energy that you're releasing when you pay. Because let me tell you something, it's not the same when you pay $5 or $10 and you're mad and you're like mad that the service was bad, or you are mad that you have to tip, or you're mad that the drink was bad. It's not the same as, but you're like, well, but I'm gonna tip, so I better get abundant, you know, like, but here, this girl was mean, here you go, tip. And you think you're doing a service to yourself by tipping, but if the energy is off in whack, trust me, those $10 are gonna make you more poor and are gonna keep you stuck. It's not those same $10 as if you pay $1, but so happy, so abundant, you love the service, but that's all the cash you have, and you give it from your overflow, you give it with the energy of abundance, and you even like shake it, and you're so happy to give it. That dollar of tip is gonna make you richer than those $10 that you gave from scarcity or being resentful. So you need to be careful moving on. What energy are you releasing when you pay? And this is very important because we can actually say thousands of affirmations a day, but if at the end of the day you go and pay feeling a little bit like, my stomach hurts, or I don't want to pay, that energy right there that you're practicing is what's keeping you kind of like small and not claiming that dark energy that is out there, right? Like the unlimited source material. So don't live on autopilot. What do I mean by this? Right now, we are so comfortable ordering on Amazon, driving like drive-through like Starbucks, Jamba Juice, I don't know, whatever you consume. And we are so on autopilot that we're just like paying, kind of like, yeah, give it to me. Another Amazon order, click, whatever is going to show up in 2 days. And you better show it in 2 days, right? That we have that kind of like, we're living in autopilot, and we are ignoring or not taking advantage of the opportunity to be grateful when we pay. So we are so used to getting paid. I pay, I have my bills on auto pay, and those things are like practical, right? But it's autopilot. I don't get to enjoy paying those things. So I know I have them on autopilot, but every morning I'm thankful that I have money to pay my services or the fees or the softwares that I use or my subscription for Amazon or Netflix, whatever you use. So always be mindful to be thankful and grateful, and just try to appreciate that you're wealthy, that you have that you have money. And even if you have a lot of money, sometimes like that's easier to become more on autopilot, because now you just have a lot of overflow and you're kind of like, oh yeah, spending, paying. But to keep that abundance and to really enjoy it, you can actually just enjoy it and be thankful for it. So don't live on autopilot. I see many people just buying random stuff and then complaining that they don't have money. What do you mean? You just made a huge order on Amazon. You got your Starbucks. That's amazing, right? In my country where I come from, in the city that I was born, they don't even have Starbucks. They have local coffee shops. And the Starbucks is in the main capital. And Starbucks for them is like, oh my God, a big deal. Like, I'll take a picture. And yeah, but for us, it's like, whatever. Just like another coffee shop, another coffee cup. So I feel like being born in a country like that, or with family that were not wealthy at all, that were always in scarcity, made me enjoy the little things in life. It made me enjoy all of these that I have, because everything is a big deal. I appreciate everything, because it's beautiful to have this overflow. Are you guys doing good? Can you see the slides? We're good? Yay. Okay, so how do you see money? I want to talk about these. I really want us to explore the relationship that you have with your money. What relationship do you have with your money? And this is very important because just like you have a relationship with your mom, your dad, your partner, your kids, your friends, money is also, this huge energy that is out there and we cannot ignore it. Every day, money is flowing. Every day, right now, millions of dollars are being spent, are being traded in the stock market, are being collected from people that own rent or stuff like that. And so it's always circulating around the world. So we want to discover, how do you see money? And what does money mean to you? For example, it can be a resource, right? People feel like, oh, it's a resource. Yeah, I get paid. I pay my services, whatever. Or maybe it's freedom of time, freedom, financial freedom, freedom to buy whatever you want, freedom to live wherever you want. Or maybe it's opportunity to give back, opportunity to enjoy this life, luxury. I love luxury, and I know I came here to get all the luxury things, and I'm working for that. I'm, trying to get that. Easy to obtain. Is it overflow? Is it fun? Now I see money as fun. But before, you can ask me, oh, hell no, I did not want to talk about money. I didn't know anything about money. All I knew was that my dad had to be absent so we can eat and so I can get an education. And I had very like negative like thoughts about money. But once I started learning, which I'm going to share a lot, how I really quantum leap in 5 years, I think it is. Or maybe, how do you see money? Maybe you see it as bad because you have a lot of debt, credit card debt. Is evil, like you don't like to talk about it or hear about it. It's hard to get, right? Like you have to work hours to get paid. It's never enough. Like this girl over here, like she's never looking at her wallet. Like it's never enough. I have not enough money. Or maybe it means poverty or scarcity. I know for me, that was my kind of like belief that I was poor because we were from a very like low income family back home. We never had a car ever. And we were 3 girls growing in Guatemala, and my dad had to be absent for us to have education. So he came to the US. So I started to adapting those beliefs that my dad has to be away so he can send money through Western Union so I can go to school. I even feel guilty many of the times because I'll talk on the phone and he had to be gone so we can eat and get education. I'm like, well, what if I don't need education? What if you just come home, right? So I had a lot of those beliefs around money, and I'm very thankful that I started transforming these beliefs, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to unlock that dark energy, that source that is out there. And I know all of us women can do that. We have a huge power inside us. It's just that sometimes we kind of block it or think that money is not important, or I don't think about money and all of that. So I really want you to ask yourself, like, I know I ask you girls to bring a journal, because right now when I ask you in the slide before, what does money mean to you? I want you to start just brainstorming, like start writing whatever comes up, because you can use these thoughts as journaling prompts for after the meeting or tomorrow, whenever you feel like you need, like some inner work to do around money. So when I ask you, how do you see money? Maybe you're like, oh, I have debt. Write that down, because we can reframe debt. We can reframe how we see debt. And I can talk about that. So I love this exercise. Is your money happy or sad? There is 2 flows. There is 2 flows of money, happy flow and sad flow. Happy is enjoy, is like the joy that you feel while paying, is happy money, positive money, only green, right? Deposit, deposit, deposit. And the sad money is kind of like, I own a lot of money. I haven't paid my friend, or somebody stole money from me. And right, like if you lose your wallet or you lose something, that money that was there, you feel resentment, you feel mad, you feel, you just want to break stuff because you lost it. And then you feel like, how unfair, why did I lose my money? Or debt. Monthly payments, we have monthly payments that we have to do, is responsibility, right? Sometimes we cannot escape these monthly payments of services, the mortgage, rent, cars, phone, Wi-Fi, whatever it is, there is monthly payments that we cannot escape, just like the taxes here. Maybe sad money is receiving money with guilt. Sometimes we don't like to get paid, or we feel like if we ask somebody for money and they give it in a bad way, we feel guilt or kind of like bad energy. And you will be surprised that many people get paid and they feel resentful towards that check because they know that check is coming and it's going to be gone. So that's sad money. You feel guilt and you feel bad energy when the check comes in because you're like, well, here we go. You know, you hand it to whoever you own. And maybe some gratefulness and resentment, as I say, a lot of these bad feelings, right? So there is two flows of money, happy money and sad money. So if you're having thoughts right now of, let's diagnose our money. Are you having happy money or sad money? Because happy money can be winning money. I won, for example, $400 in this scratcher. I don't know, some random thing that you won. You feel happy, right? You feel like, I won something. I got something for free. It's payday. I get paid today. I get paid Friday. I get paid. And then you feel happy because you're getting paid. Happy money is abundance. It's having that energy of joy while you pay, right? We're talking about the energy behind paying and receiving. Is the energy. So when you pay, are you happy? That means that your money is happy. That baby is reproducing in the wallet, is happy to be around you, and it's telling you, hey, I'm gonna go, but I'll come back. I say, yeah, go ahead, come back. I'm happy for you to go because it has to flow. It cannot be, just like saving your bank account and you're hoarding the money. Money likes to flow. It's like water. It's like a river. It likes to flow because if it gets stuck, it's losing value, right? Like the government right now is printing a lot of money. So the more money they print, the less value your money in the bank or saving is, the value is lowering. But if it's invested, it's different. If it's flowing, then you have to kind of like let it flow. And I'm not saying that having savings is bad. It's actually really good. Also receiving with joy. When you receive, are you actually getting happy? I know most of the women have an issue with receiving. We like to feel that we're independent, that we don't want anything free. Don't pay for my food. Don't pay for that. I am my own woman. I can pay. Forget about that. Just receive. Receive with gratitude, receive with joy, so your money can be happy to be around you. So right now, if you will kind of diagnose your money from a scale from 1 to 10, what do you feel your money is? You don't have to share it like this is personal, this is for you. But what do you feel your money is right now? Is it like a 3? And it's fair. Everything starts with awareness. Because if you know it's a 3, we can make, like an exercise to raise that number, and that will be your vibration of money. So when you're spending or receiving money, your vibration has to be high. It has to be high. You have 2 options. When you go to the counter, to the, what is it called? The vending machine, or not the vending machine, the cashier. You go to the cashier, and let's say that you're at Zara, an example, and they charge you $180, and you're like, what? And then you start like feeling like, oh my God, I came for a shirt, and all of a sudden I'm spending almost $200. You have 2 options. Don't buy it with that energy. Just get the shirt you were going to get and spend what your stomach and your gut is allowing you to spend. Or the second option is change your energy right there. So, for example, as I say, if you're, paying and you feel that you're getting all these triggers and you're feeling low energy and you're feeling guilt, oh my God, another transaction in my credit card. How am I going to pay these? Why do I spend too much? Either don't buy it, walk away. I know it's going to be awkward, but that cashier, trust me, is not going to remember you. Or just start clapping right there. And I think I talk about these, Erica, right, in the woman empowerment event. I clap, I dance when I pay. And it's awkward at the beginning, but now it's something I do and I love doing. I can't wait to pay so I can just, raise my vibration. So for example, groceries. I love cooking for my family. I love eating at home. But let's be honest, groceries is not the funnest transaction that you can go and pay. I'd rather pay at Sephora, right? But when I go to groceries, I'm like, I put my vibration of when I see it's higher, and this used to happen a lot before, and I'm like, what, that much? I'm just cooking, I'm just buying like these, right? And let's say it was $300, and I'm like, these things are going up in price. And I'm like, no, it's either you put that card back or you take your food home. So I had no choice. I had to bring my food home. So what I did was change my vibration and made it high. Instantly think when they're charging and you see the thing going up, right? Like the little computer, just start thinking, I have the opportunity to buy all this healthy organic food. I have the opportunity to cook for my family. I am so wealthy that I can buy food, and I know it's such basic thoughts, but it's not as basic as you think. Many people don't even have the opportunity to go blow in groceries and choose organic, right? Like, we are so blessed to even have the opportunity to choose something better for our body. So I will start changing that, and I'll be like, no. And I will think of a song. Think of a song that you love, sing it in your head so you can start moving your body. And you don't have to be extra, right? When you're paying, just like, and I will put a smile and pay. And something that I do, and it was cringe at the beginning, but now my husband loves it when I do. I always say this: go and come back and you will unfold 11 times in my bank account. And I say it, like out loud, but not too loud to where the cashier is like, what? But when I'm paying scary purchases or like over $500 for whatever, and I know it's like expanding my my kind of like container of spending in something, then I will, start dancing. I will think about a song, I dance, and then I say, go and come back 11 times. And one time the cashier, I think this was at Sephora, because that's where I have expanded my thing to buy perfumes and makeup. Like before, I was used to just buying makeup from the drugstore and spending like $40. But when you go to Sephora, one mascara is like $60. So that's where I started expanding, kind of practicing to like spend gracefully. And then when I see that the bill was high, one time I say, go and come back 11 times. And I was happy and I was dancing. She's like, I love that. I think she understood what I say. She's like, oh, I love that. I made her day. I made my day. I didn't block the abundance. I paid with a high vibration. And I even what if she probably started doing that, right? Like, you don't know, like sometimes like when you are magnetic and so happy, that is so contagious. And you even want to like more of that person, or that energy is the opposite of somebody that is all mad, paying, like counting the bills and complaining that it's too expensive. Like, get out of here, go away. So you don't want to be that person. You want to be the one that pays gracefully. And even inside, if you're like froze inside because it's a lot of money for a dinner, for a gift, you have two options: don't buy it, or change your vibration fast. One example for us was the taxes. Taxes and choose pass. And we never received money. We actually pay money. So it was 12 grand that we had to pay. And since last year, like a couple of years ago, I told my husband, like, hey, because like the taxes. And I'm like, hey, we have the opportunity to pay. We have the opportunity to have great, like say a safe country. And for me, I see it like that, right? I'm not from here. So I'm always like, I have all these amazing opportunities. Like if this money is going to education, like I had financial aid and I'm very grateful for that. So if my taxes are going to pay that, go ahead and better someone else's, future. So we started practicing these, but I'm the one that started practicing it. And then he follows. I never tell him do this, do that, because, I don't want to tell him what to do. But, I started clapping and I'm like, oh, we're so wealthy that we get to pay. And this year was the same amount, I think a little bit more. And then you're like, write that check with high vibration. And I told him, we don't have a choice. We cannot like ignore this payment. Like, if we have to pay it, might as well put music, write that check, dance around it, do whatever you have to do to raise your vibration so money can come back to you 11 times fold. Because if you don't pay attention to money, it will get your attention, and probably in a way you don't like it. That was me. I will ignore money for many years. I did other careers. So for me, it was like designing and all of this. And money was kind of like, whatever, I'm going to make money one day. Although I knew I was going to be wealthy, I didn't understand it. I did not know where to start learning about money, like budgeting, how much pay, like what, I just know money comes in, money goes out. I don't know. Because if you don't pay attention to money, it will get your attention, and maybe in a family emergency, in an accident, you get robbed, or your car breaks down, or your kid needs surgery, something bad. And that's, or you get like fired from your job, or something happens, that your money is going to get your attention, and it's going to be like, hey, I need attention. What's going on? We need to pay this. And then you're going to be forced to look at your bank account. You're going to be forced to look at your credit score when you go and apply for a loan, or when you want to buy a car, or when you want to buy a house or make an investment. You're going to be forced to put your numbers in a rack, in a spreadsheet. And we don't want to be with all this icky energy around it. We want to start talking about it. We want to start paying attention to it, learning if your money is sad or happy, learning what limiting beliefs you have around money. So when that day comes, you don't feel triggered. You don't feel like, oh my God, I can't talk about it. I couldn't talk about money. And I remember for the longest, I never shared how much I made. I think my friend knew because we work at the same place. But other than that, I would be ashamed of sharing how much I was making and how much rent was. And I never told my husband how much I was making, like when we were dating, until later. And I felt that I almost got sick that day when I say how much I was making. And for him, he was like, because he was already investing, so talking about money was normal. For me, I think I started making 62,000 as an entry level back in 2018, 17, I don't remember well. And then I left that job making 73,000, I think. Like in those 3 years, they made raises and bonuses, all of that thing. And then I was so ashamed because I had such a big title and I was not making enough money, especially living in Los Angeles, paying $2,000 of rent. And I will be shy of sharing my salary because other friends with the same degree were making 6 figures. And I'm like, I chose the wrong industry. But once I started talking about it, now I can just share it like no big deal, but it's being practice. And yeah, money definitely got my attention in ways that I didn't like it. And it didn't feel good. And that's why I'm like, no, we're going to talk about money. We're going to be the wealthy friends that just get to talk about these in a random Wednesday, because that's what we do. So I want to talk about beliefs. And we always hear, right? Limiting beliefs, the beliefs. But this is very important because belief is to believe something means to make it dear and valuable to us. It makes us some sense of security. It makes us feel that we belong. Or beliefs, right? Since the beliefs that we pick up since we're kids, they make us feel like we belong, part of a family, of a culture, of the society, of this country, of this school. So you pick up these beliefs that make you feel safe. And feeling safe and secure, it's one of the 3 survival instincts that we have, right? Since if you're put in a jungle, the first thing you're gonna go do is find some shelter so you feel safe. You don't know what's out there, so you want to feel safe. So our beliefs keep us safe because you feel that you belong, you have value on these beliefs. And we continually look for evidence in our beliefs. For example, if you believe that there is no good men out there, all your eyes are going to see are assholes or people that, I'm sorry, I did not want to curse, but I'm getting too passionate about these. So we continually look for evidence, right? So if you believe there is no good men out there, all you're going to do is go and see guys that are not good. Only those examples are going to show up for you. And then you're going to be like, see, I knew it. I knew I was right, because only bad men are there. If you believe that you cannot make friends, then guess what? You're only going to find the people that don't want to be your friends. And maybe you're ignoring the ones that actually want to be your friends. Because our beliefs create our experience, and our experience confirms our beliefs. And this is very true, because what we are believing, that's what's creating right now this reality. And that reality comes back to us and tells us, yes, you're right. You're broke. Look, we are creating that experience. And being broke confirms, like, see, I was right. So you can feel safe. So you don't have to change. So you don't have to get out of your comfort zone, because getting out of the comfort zone, it's so scary. And we want to be safe. But when you change your beliefs, you can change your experience and your outcome. So everything comes from the root inside, the beliefs that we have. And this is very interesting, because I definitely was raised with many bad beliefs. Some were good, and those I'm keeping dear to my heart, because I know that I like those beliefs that my mom put in me, like respect and having value and morals and all of that. But when it comes around money, those beliefs were not serving me. And then once I discover, or once I reach my next level, those beliefs were not serving me. It's just like a jeans that, you don't fit anymore. They're too small. When you were 10 years old, those jeans probably don't fit. So it's like, they're not serving you. You have to change them. And we can create new narrow pathways to see money differently. So when we repeat this belief or this habit or this thought, our brain is creating narrow pathways, and it's actually making it like, hey, this is your new belief. This is your new road. This is it. This is it. But we have the power to create new narrow pathways to see money differently. And not just money. We can create new pathways in our brain to see many things differently, to learn a new language, to change your looks, to change your habits about eating, to change your friendships, to change the way you see the world, and to accomplish new things, to learn new things, right? Nobody is born knowing anything. But when you go to get an education, when you learn something different, your brain is creating these new pathways. Oh, now I know this. See, now I know English because I practiced it and my brain adapted it until it became my identity. Now I'm a bilingual. And for many things, same for wealth and money. And being born in a poor family was not a choice. That was definitely not our choice. It was just how it is. But staying poor is a choice. It is definitely a choice. And same goes for being born in a wealthy family was not a choice, right? Maybe that soul was like, oh, this is not a choice. But staying wealthy, it is a choice. Because many people that are born in super wealthy families, they will sabotage or they will do drugs, or they don't want to follow like the parents' business. And then staying wealthy is also a choice, right? So everybody has free will. So being born in a poor family was not a choice. But staying poor, it is a choice. I was definitely not born in a rich family. Definitely not. And my family, my mom still has a lot of limiting beliefs, but she always says, oh, I learned so much about you and mija and all of these. But I cannot change my family's belief. I cannot. That's their choice. That's their job. Everybody has to do their own inner work to change. And staying poor was not my choice. I decided I am not going to stay poor. I do not like to be limited. I like to have everything. I like to buy what I want. I like to get what I want. And I'm not going to stay like this. I'm not going to stay like my family. I'm not going to stay like my parents. And I'm thankful for them, for their sacrifice. But that doesn't mean that I have to follow their steps. I can honor their sacrifice. My parents definitely sacrificed a lot. And I am very thankful. So we have to be thankful for their sacrifice. It was not their fault. Maybe they were not present because they had to feed us, or maybe they had to have 2 jobs. My mom always had 2 jobs. And it was not their fault. They were doing the best they can. So we can forgive them. But choosing a different path for ourselves, for our future generations, for our daughters, for our kids, because a wealthy family is coming from us. And this goes the same. If you're born in a wealthy family, but you don't care about wealth, then your choice can also, become someone free and become somebody that you don't care about money, and maybe you can do your own little thing. So everybody has a choice. You can choose today to start to become a millionaire, the first in your family, or not. It is a choice. I believe it is a choice because I come from literally the dust. There was at one point, and I was sharing this to my best friend, that I think I told you, no, Noreen? I told her that there was 3 months that we were homeless in, what state was this? Oklahoma. There was a snowstorm, and it was my mom, my sister, and I. And we just came to the US. One of the many times we tried to, come to the US. I think it was like 11 or 12. And the church paid for our hotel. Those hotels that have little kitchenettes, and the hotel brought clothes, snow clothing. They brought a lot of groceries, and they paid like 3 months for that hotel. And we lived in that hotel for 3 months. And I do remember it. We were saving, and my dad was like saving to buy the tickets back to Guatemala because that time didn't work out in Oklahoma. So now we have to fly back. And it was 3 plane tickets. And I do remember, like if it was yesterday, when the people from the church walked with the bags of clothes, I started clapping like, oh my God. And I started pulling the clothes out. I was 11. And I'm like, this clothes is amazing. It smells like United States. And I started trying everything. And I cannot just imagine what my mom was feeling. She was scared. She was sad. She was probably humiliated. And I was just dancing between the clothes, and they brought all this cereal, and I was eating cereal. And I'm like, Mommy, can I go play to the snow? So for me, it was an adventure. But I started understanding that my mom was sad, that my mom was scared. I will hear the phone conversations with my dad, like, we're stuck in the hotel, we need money. And you know what? I decided that I will never put my daughter through that I will never put myself through that. When I start telling my stories to my husband, because sometimes, well, not sometimes, every day we talk about money because now we're investors and it's just part of our conversation. And then I come up with these stories because I'm remembering, and I'm like, oh my God, I chose not to be that. And I definitely chose to become the first millionaire in my family. I am by now. I'm 30. And this is why I have to teach it back, because I want to share in detail how I have become this. And it just doesn't come like, oh, here is $1 million. We think that if somebody gives us $1 million right now, that $1 million is going to come with a new chip for your brain. And that chip is going to have knowing about investments, knowing about feeling worthy, knowing about where to invest and what transactions you do, and about lawyers and your trust and your wills, and about like your life insurances. That $1 million doesn't come with your new programming, and it doesn't come with the feelings of feeling worthy and knowing that to embody abundance. If you get $1 million today, ask yourself, $1 million right now in this time is not a lot of money anymore. Let's be honest, like times are changing. Now for me, it will be like, whoa, 5 millions. Then it's like, whoa, like now we're talking. But $1 million is getting like, okay, like that's not a lot of money. Maybe years before the pandemic and all of these, that was a lot of money. But now it's becoming kind of like less, so now more is more. So if you get all that money, ask yourself, am I ready to manage it? And I'm ready to really embody abundance and wealth. Because I went through some triggering experiences when I decided to invest in, know more about money. But I have another slide for that. Let me see. Oops. So I do want us to do an exercise about the beliefs. And in your journal, You can start right now. I'll give you a minute or two. And after tomorrow, this week, please continue doing this. So I want you to write a list of the positive and negative beliefs that you learned from your mom and dad. And if you were raised with your siblings, like I was raised with my sister and my brother, and maybe you were raised by a grandma or teachers or friends, then write that. But if just your mom and dad is enough, then just do those. I feel like those are already enough limiting beliefs. So I'll give you a minute and we will talk about those beliefs. I wrote down two that came up a lot in my wealth journey. And one was money makes me a bad person. And I hold this belief dear to my heart because my dad will get mad every time he didn't have money. And I'm like, money makes you a bad person, because if he is good with money, then he's happy. And if we don't have money, he's mad and he will throw things around the house and hit my mom. So I hold to that belief for years. And he still tried to show up as I'm climbing and I'm breaking new ceilings. Is sometimes the belief of who does she think she is? Kind of like, well, who are you to be talking about this or to be this wealthy? And those beliefs are not true. So we're going to talk about that. Here, Nareen shared, we are always running out of money. Oof, this one, this speaks home. I feel like this belief really is very ingrained in families, or even if they have, we're always running out of money and never is enough. So if you wrote 2 beliefs, whatever you have in your journal that you're holding right now, ask yourself if this is an absolute true to everybody in this planet, in this universe. Like, is it true that money makes people bad? There is really good people out there with money. We are always running out of money. There is people that have abundance and overflow and they cannot even spend all their money in their lifetimes. Money is hard to get. I love this belief, that I hate this belief because I also believed it. And I love it because it is not true. Money is so easy to get for many people. If you think about everybody in the world, there are people claiming millions a day. And there is another one. Money means they have control over you. Ooh, talk about control, right? Like, if you don't have your own money, maybe you don't feel control, or money means they have control over you. So we need to ask ourselves, are these true for everybody in this world? For me, it's like, there is amazing people that are giving back and they're rich AF. So that is not true. And right next to it, lie. Right next to your belief in your journal, this is a lie. Because now we discover that these are not true for everybody. There is people that have millions of dollars and they have control over nobody, or they don't have what is it called? Nobody's controlling them. Money is easy to get for many people. So see, these are like not true. A true belief is that there is a moon and there is a sun, right? That's a belief for everybody. That's a truth. Or that there is gravity and that water gets you wet. That is a belief that is true for everybody in this world. So money is hard to get. That's a lie. I'm a bad person if I get money. That's an absolute lie. So write lie, like lie. And I want you to ask yourself, are these beliefs serving you to where you want to go? Like this belief was not serving me. Then there is many beliefs. Girl, I've been working a lot on these beliefs because many came up. So this belief is not serving me. And I want you to rewrite a new belief to replace this one. So if you say money means they have control over you, you can rewrite it you can reframe it as a positive thing. I am free if I have money, or nobody has control over me if I have money, or however you want to reframe it in a positive way. Or we're always running out of money. We are always being blessed with overflow of money. See, like you can reframe it to an opposite way. And for me will be money makes me a bad person. I will rewrite money amplifies my givingness. You know, I'm a very giving person and generosity. Money amplifies my generosity. Money makes me a good person because I can help people. And there is a secret, money doesn't change you. A lot of people say, oh, money, you're going to change when you get money. You're going to become like all these filthy rich and you're not going to talk to me. And money doesn't change you. Let me tell you something. Money amplifies what you are. So if you're a generous person by nature, when you have money, you're going to become more giving. You're going to be excited to give, to pay, to give, to share. But if you're greedy, being broke, if you get money, you're going to become double as greedy because now you have like, I don't want to give. And honestly, I have met back home a lot of poor people that are greedy and bad. So yeah, those people maybe do not need more money because they like being like that. But people that have greatness in their heart, we need to claim that money. We have services to give. We have a message to share. We have abundance that we want to create for our lives and our kids. So money amplifies what's in your heart by nature. And I have seen that with my husband. I have seen that with myself. And I have seen that with other people that get money and they decide to serve. They decide to give back and they decide to give their kids the best life. And for them too, for you girls too, like we want to experience everything good, not just for my daughter, right? I want to enjoy it. I want all the richness. And after you rewrite this new reframing for your belief, I wanted to repeat it. And this is kind of like repetition is going to make your new identity. I don't care if it takes you a year. I've been repeating my affirmations, and whenever something comes up, I do this exercise when I rewrite, and then I add it to my list of repetitions. And sometimes I recycle them because there is so many that I'm like, okay, girl, you're gonna be an hour every morning just talking, you know, out loud. Like 3 months I will do some, 3 months I will do another one, you know, because your brain needs repetition to create those neural pathways so it can become your reality. Because you're repeating for decades these beliefs since you were a kid. And now you need to start repeating the new one to start reframing that in your brain. So when you get off this call and moving forward, I would like you to keep going with these beliefs. And if you have good beliefs about money that your parents taught you, then write them down and keep them. If they're going to serve you, keep them. There is one good one. I don't want to trash my parents, you know, because they also had good beliefs. For example, my mom had the belief that you have to save money. I like that belief, but I'm going to put it as, I'm going to have savings as overflow, but I also can invest it in, and I'm not going to save out of the scarcity. My dad had the belief that he can have big amounts of money, and he did because of the type of job he did. But as big amounts of money came, he will leave the next day. And that's when he will start like acting up. So I like that belief, but not the rest. Like I like the belief that I get big amounts of money, but it gets to stay with me and I get to grow it, reproduce it, and enjoy it. So you can also write the good beliefs that you want to keep from your parents, your siblings, your teachers, your friends, or whoever you grew up with. Okay, women need money. I love this sentence. Women need money. We do need money. But first, decide that you get to have money. We need money because money solves problems. It gives us the opportunity to get safety, right? If we feel that we're not safe in a neighborhood, in a country, money can buy safety. Money can put you in a good neighborhood, in a good school. It can buy cameras. It can buy a good safety system. Even like if you're a billionaire, it can buy you like, these security guards. Money can buy you safety. Money gets you peace of mind. You don't have to worry about the bills. You don't have to worry about anything. I'm so free. I'm light. I'm light because I know everything is taken care of. Great school for our kids. Of course that, we want a good education for them. Great neighborhoods. Of course, like I was raised in a neighborhood that it was good to be Guatemala, but it was not great for sure. There were like always drunk people in the corner and some hookers in the corner too. And I was raised seeing that and always walking like afraid on the other corner of the other side of the street. I don't want that. I want a great neighborhood where I feel safe, where I feel rich, where I feel abundant, where I can just have whatever I want and feel safe. Money is a foundation of freedom. We exchange money for services and goods. So freedom, right? If you need childcare, if you need someone to dry clean your clothes, to clean your house, to do whatever, you can pay services. So if you see it that way, if you don't like to cook, but you can order like pre-made meals, money gives you that opportunity. Isn't it that amazing? And we need money because, as I say, women, we have gifts. We have a message. We have things that we want to give, and great people need money. Woman, we need money. So I want to ask you, what gifts will you share with others if you had unlimited and abundant source of income? How will your freedom and overflow help others? Let's say that you have all the money that you ever wanted, super abundant. What are you going to do with your time? What gifts can you share with the world? What can you give back to others from your overflow? Of course, we want to give from our overflow. We never want to give from scarcity or from an empty tank. But for example, for me, now that I'm at a place where I know everything is taken care of, and I have enough investment savings, money coming in, everything, I decided to start my YouTube channel. I decided to start sharing, to start doing this, right? On a Wednesday morning, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to be doing, teaching. I feel this is my gift that I'm sharing from my overflow. And thanks to having many sources of income and abundance, and you can that too. So what can you share with the world? Some people learn to teach salsa and they love teaching salsa or dancing, or they love to teach another language, or they want to bake. But when you do it from the place of, I need to pay my bills, therefore this has to work, then there is that energy of like pushing. But if you just do it from your overflow because it's fun and easy and you don't care the outcome, you just want to put it out there, what do you want to give? Serving. And something about putting yourself in service, that doesn't mean it has to be for free. There is a quote that I share with one of my clients, and is this: I serve, I deserve. Repeat that every day, because if you're serving from your overflow, that doesn't mean that it has to be free. It means that you also get to pay to share your gift. You also get paid to help others. And now if you want to do charities and all of that, then also it's valid. Everything is valid once you are taken care of and you have overflow. So what do you want to share? Sometimes we don't even think about that because we feel it's a luxury. First, we think about getting a job. And first we think about like paying the bills and putting food in our table and making sure the babies are okay and making sure that the mortgage is paid. And we think that thinking about sharing gifts is something like for the rich people. Well, start thinking now. Start thinking now, so when you get the chance, you're going to know what to do with your time and with your service. Like, what gift do you want to share? Ooh, is everybody doing okay? If you guys have any question, you can type it in the chat. Make sure everybody's doing okay. I'm gonna share these and then we can have like a 2-3 minute break. I know maybe you guys want to use the restroom or drink some water, but these, let me talk about the feminine and masculine aspect of money. This is one of my favorite topics. I love teaching money from the feminine aspect because this is where everything starts. This is the most important aspect. It's like probably 80% of money is the feminine aspect. And yes, learning about investments, learning which 401k is the best, learning what, what stock makes you more money. Yes, you have to learn that too. But you can learn that. But if you learn it and you don't feel worthy of making money, then it's not going to work. That 20% is just going to be information there. So let's talk about that divine feminine aspect of money. What is the divine feminine? All of us have a feminine and masculine side energies. Think about the yin and yang, the little circle with black and white. That's a balance of energies. So by nature, us women, by nature, by birth, by nature, we have 80% feminine energy, dominant, and 20% masculine. By nature, men have the opposite, 80% masculine, 20% feminine. Feminine is the flow. Feminine is the enjoyment. Learn how to enjoy life, receiving, having fun, going with the flow, relaxing. The masculine is giving, right? A masculine needs a feminine to give, so the masculine is giving. The masculine is creating structures. Think about the masculine as a structure of building a container, like a home. A house is a masculine, a home, the feeling of home is the feminine, right? Sometimes feminine, you don't see it. Masculine, you can see the structures and stuff. So divine feminine in money means the ability to call in money, manifest money, having fun with money, enjoy spending money. Who's clapping when they pay? That's me. I enjoy spending money. I love pleasure in life. I find pleasure drinking from this little black cup. Look how cute. I find pleasure in everything, in the perfume that I use, in my hair, in writing with a pen, in the meals that I eat, when I dance. If you buy sexy underwear, that's pleasure. Pleasure in life. That's the feminine divine aspect and the most important aspect. So if you don't feel worthy of having money or calling it in, you will only get what you think you're worth of having. So everything starts with the feminine, right? Knowing that you deserve money, deciding that you're going to get money, not worrying about the how. We're going to talk about how not to worry about the how, because we get so stuck in like, well, how I'm going to make money, how I'm going to sell these, how I'm going to get paid. Drop that. Drop the struggle. Don't think about the how. Divine feminine means you have faith. You have faith that things are going to work out for you. You have faith that you're going to be a millionaire, but that doesn't mean that you stay in sleeping in faith. That means that you're going to use your 20% of masculine energy and you're going to go learn about how to keep money, right? So let's talk about divine masculine energy or the divine masculine aspect of money. The divine masculine is the one that knows how to keep the money, how to save it. It knows how to invest money, which investment to put it. It knows about stocks. It knows how to grow money, right? Like these, the 401k, this building, this profit, this percentage, this marketing strategy. That's the masculine, is structured. It knows how to save money. Is good at like deciding what percentage of money you're going to save. The masculine is the financial literacy and the money container. So for example, in our home, I am the divine feminine. I can manifest money. I can manifest abundance. I can just call in money and deals and all these things. And in our relationship, my husband is the brain. Not saying that I'm not. He is the one that actually enjoys keeping the money, deciding which investment, deciding which property we're going to buy or sell, deciding how much we're going to pay the employees, decide how much we're going to save. And he's the money container. So for you, we can also do that for ourselves, right? We can learn, we can get financially literate through books, through education, talking about money like we're doing here, learning about what is money, you know, not just like how I explain it, but actually like how the money is growing each day, which investments, which apps for stocks are the best, how much can I get, what is your credit score, how can I make it better? Like all of these is financial literacy, and you have to do it too. So I've been learning a lot about these because I've been really good at manifesting money, but then I don't know where to invest it. I was like, I don't know. I know money comes in, but once I got my job, I'm like, I don't have what is it called, budget. I know money comes in, but I don't know where I should put it and how to pay. So I created a container, a masculine container that was a budget. So I started, like tracking how much I will get paid and tracking how much was my internet and the water and the electricity and groceries. Like the fun part is the enjoying money, the calling in money. And I'm really good at that. And I'm really getting good at the divine masculine side, which is learning the actual footwork. But if you feel that you're not worthy of having money, it doesn't matter how many financial books you do and how many budgets you do, you're always going to feel that you cannot call in the money. So in order to invest money, save money, keep money, we need money. We need to call it in first. So if you're manifesting money, not worrying about the how, that is a great start because now you have the material. Now you have to learn the divine masculine side, which is, learning like how to actually, throw money in the stocks, which brokers account, all of these things that are dividends or bonds, mutual bonds, these things that are your financial literacy. So there is two aspects of money, like calling it in, enjoying it, but actually managing it. So it's good that we're getting educated about both so we can hold that container for ourselves. If you have a partner that they're good at saving money or, kind of like investing and stuff, then you just become the divine feminine, calling it in. But even if you're not managing it, it's good to understand and it's good to know where is the money going. So every other month we sit with my husband and we go over the whole investments. And I ask all these questions. I like to be aware what's going on. I like to be aware if our projects are being on what is it called? On budget. There is one right now that is happening in LA. They just demolish and remodel the stairs for one of her properties there. And we budgeted for 12 grand. It's almost 20 grand. See? $8,000. I want to know where is that going. So I like to sit down and say, hey, this is the budget. We always go above budget. Okay, let's say 15. Okay, we're at 20. Like, where is that 5,000? So you need to sit down and understand the masculine side of money. How much are we getting paid? How much this? But then I always calling for more money. I always ask for money and don't block it. Don't worry about where it's coming from. Many times we want to get paid from this project, this tenant, this job, this course, don't block the universe, because the universe is going to send it to you through many, many different sources that you cannot even imagine. And if you start telling, hold on, is this recording? How do I know if it's recording?
It is.
It is? Okay. Because I'm just talking and I'm like, the girls, okay, it says pause recording. Okay, good. Because I know like some girls are going to watch it later in the replay. So we need to get educated about both. You know, I'm good in quality in many ways. And sometimes I will get frustrated. Why am I not getting paid from this business? My business, when I started making hoodies and I started making like an online store, and I'm like, nobody's buying. And here my husband is like, well, we just made $200,000 in this investment. And I don't care. I want to sell a hoodie. See, like I was acting like this and blocking the universe from all this unlimited, the dark energy, the 95% that we don't even know it exists. And my husband is like, can we go celebrate? And I will feel broke because I didn't sell a hoodie, a $30 hoodie. So see how this doesn't make any sense? But back then, this just happened 3 years ago. Back then, I will be devastated. Oh, my hoodies. I need to sell more aprons. And I decided aprons, and I decided like a notepad. And over here, we were making money. We rented, we leased our places. So once I understood that, you know, thanks to my mentor, she's like, don't block it. It's coming from the least resistant path. Then you start accepting that, and then everything is going to make sense. So girls, want to take like a 2-3 minute break? 2 minutes, you're good? Yeah, okay, go ahead. And I will pause this. Yay. We're back. We're hydrated. So now we're gonna talk. Ooh, I'm sharing a little bit about what started it. Here on the left, we have me, this picture of me with some palm trees, and I'm gonna frame this picture. This picture, like those palm trees trigger me so much. And I feel like these palm trees were the beginning of me knowing and understanding that I don't know anything about wealth. So me and my husband met in 2018, no, beginning of 2019. He was already investing in properties and he was doing it by himself. And then when we met, I told him that I was working in the construction field as an engineer, and we started talking, and he was investing already, and I got triggered because he had freedom. He had freedom. We will be texting and he will tell me, oh, I'm running to Home Depot and I'm having lunch with my mom, with my friends, and I'll be in the same cubicle all day long. And then I'm like, there has to be something more. I know how to design a building, but I don't know how to be the owner of a building. That's a difference, right? Hiring a service to design something for your building, or being the owner that hires the service. So the story behind these palm trees, that was in 2019. And we went to buy landscaping for this property. This is a property in one of the main locations in California, Los Angeles. The city is called Lomita, and it's a commercial property. It has 2 doors. So here there is one tenant, or tenant is a Thai massage. And on the other side here, we had like now it's like a fishing place. Like the guy sells like fish equipment and all of that. But when we first bought the building, it needed to be remodeled, right? Like it was so old, and like the paint was old, and it had these big bushes. And my husband is like, hey, let's add palm trees. With years, they're gonna grow. It's gonna look amazing. And we went to this nursery, and these palm trees were $3,000 each. That triggered me a lot. And you see me smiling there, but in the inside, I'm like, what? Are we going to pay these for palm trees outside a building that is not my house? I don't own a house. But we decided to invest first in commercials. And thankfully, we did it that way because we did not have like kids or responsibility to pay. I had my job, and that covered like the apartment and stuff. But these palm trees are like $3,000 for palm trees. And then we bought these little bushes and we planted them and we painted. Like here you can see like the, what is it called? We changed the painting. We hired a crew. He's from Guatemala. Amazing. Love that guy. And we started transforming this property. This property in 2019 was $700,000, and that was a lot of money back then. Now it's worth almost $2 million. It doubled the price. So holding it for 4 years and investing, we made over $1 million profit in this property. So you're gonna tell me now, I'm telling this girl, are you gonna let $3,000 palm trees stop you from profiting more than $1 million? Because we were, this year, we're about to get it appraised to refinance it and stuff. And we know by a fact that it's 2 million, maybe more. Times change, right? Like with the pandemic and stuff, like the properties went crazy, commercial properties. And I'm like, are you going to stop? Are those palm trees going to stop? And I got so triggered because I'm like, how am I going to, what? $3,000? That's a lot of money. I was making a little money as an engineer, working, paying rent, and it just, $3,000 didn't make sense. And it was not just the palm trees, it was the painter, it was the paint, it was the lights, it was these little bushes, and like renting this truck for trash. Like it was all the services that we put to make it look good. And thankfully, this is me and my husband, this is Ryan. So this was the vacant unit before. I had other pictures of the restaurant, but I couldn't find them. And then we demolished all the floor, painted it, make it look clean so a business can just go and build whatever business they want there. So this is the day that we actually closed the deal. And it was us, our dream worked, our vision worked. We remodeled it, and I had to work on my triggers, and we leased it to an amazing tenant for 5 years. Like the first, it was 2 years, he was a doctor, the business didn't click. And now we signed a lease for 5 years with this guy sells fishing equipment. And he loves the property, the location. He says, oh, this building is amazing. And this is where we learned that everything that we put was worth it. We are making money month by month, collecting rent, and the building is appraising, right? It grew over 1 million inches, 2019, 4 years ago. That's crazy how much wealth you can build if you don't let some stupid palm trees stop you. If I would have let those palm trees stop me, oh my God, I was so triggered by that, and by the fact that I had to be at work, that I had to work for money, that my husband had freedom. And by then he was wealthy, but not rich. And we're going to talk about the difference between being rich and being wealthy. We were tight. If you see us right here renting that, we were tight on money. We were putting everything on the line to invest. We kept our means low. We were living in a 1-bedroom apartment. And we put everything to investments. There were other properties that he had that he was renting, but then we started into the commercial field knowing nothing. And then when this doctor signed the lease, we're like, what? He asked us, how old are you guys? And thankfully we had masks, because I was like 28. Like, we were just young, like, we're gonna be your landlords now, and acting all professional. And yeah, it's a lot of, like, you really have to believe that you can do it, and the vision works. And if you believe in it, people are going to follow, people are going to believe. So I wanted to share a little bit about this trigger that I have to work through it. And even though sometimes I felt that I will get mad, like not mad, but kind of like resentful, like when like the painters or the construction guys will give us a budget, like, hey, we're going to charge you $5,000 to remodel. And I was like, what? That's like 1 month of work in my corporate job. Like, how? I had so many conflicts in my head that with the years, I had to make it my new normal. Investing is my new normal. I had to work, do a lot of homework for money and learning. I started reading books. There is amazing books about investing, and those things kind of like let me understand what are we doing. I decided to quit my job and join my husband for full-time investment. So here's a little bit about me. This is the apartment we were living, or 1-bedroom. I got it by myself, and then he moved in with me. When I tell you, like, he was not rich, he was wealthy, this is what I mean. He moved in with me into our 1-bedroom apartment so we can go and keep investing. And this was my job before. Right here, I tried to put pictures of me, in Guatemala. This is me. This is when I graduated as an engineer. This was our project. And then I had a job. I thought I made it. I thought that was it. Little did I know what was waiting for me if I only chose to become the first millionaire in my family and not to follow the standard, whatever they make you do. Not saying that college is not important. College opened these opportunities for me. For some people, it's different, but it definitely helped me understand a little bit of like construction and systems and things like that. Here I'm working as an engineer. These were my days, being surrounded by guys in these equipment machines, walking job sites. And I went from student to a professional, but I wanted more. I always want more. Even by today, I always want more. When you feel that you reach the level, that is just the beginning of the new one. You always have to keep growing, keep asking for more, keep asking for more knowledge, for more abundance. And speaking of abundance, here I have these, what is it called? These, I always had my vision board since I was 20. I've been doing them for 10 years. I have one right here. I have one as a background of my computer and a phone. In my phone, I changed it, but I always had my vision boards. And this is when I got my Lexus, the car that I drive right now. And every time I will accomplish a goal, I will take a picture of the thing and then peel it off from my vision board and replace it with a new one. It's little things like that that help you embody. Help you embody. It's not just like making some pictures and not believing, like, well, we'll see if it becomes true. No, you have to believe it. You have to put yourself in those situations and get triggered. Oh, did I get triggered when I met this man? Oh my God. I feel like I told many stories to my friend. When I went to his house, he used to live in an apartment. Oh, I should have pictures of that place. That's our place in Los Angeles. He used to live there, but then he leased it. And then in the pandemic, like the tenants left, so we moved into that beautiful place. It has 5 bedrooms, it's fully furnished, and it's vacant right now because that's our place in California. Because I decided I get to have 2 houses in different states. And that's what I do. That's what we have. We're going there in September. The baby has her room. I have my bed. We only take the essentials, not the furniture. And that's our place back there. So when I went into that place, I got mad. And I felt sad. I'm like, who am I? Who is this guy? I don't have enough money. Who I think I am? You better go hide to your apartment. So when friends and people show up to your life that are abundant, that are at a different level, don't, even if you feel triggered, stay there and work through that trigger. Ask yourself, isn't it that interesting that I'm feeling this? What does this woman or this person has that I don't have? How is this their new reality? And what are they doing that I'm not doing? Or how maybe they can teach me something. And I have found like myself in situations where I'm very triggered because of how I grew up and how poor I was and how I put myself in college and did all of that to make something about my life. And I don't let that trigger stop you. That's just like the door that is showing you, are you ready for what's coming? And if you say yes, then you go inside, you work through that door, and then you claim more abundance. So let's talk about rich versus wealth. This is a question that I was dating my husband and we were talking about money and I was so nervous because I had nothing to talk about, like money, what? I make a paycheck. And we were talking about, and I was reading a book. I think that's when I got curious about why did I get so mad about the palm trees? I need to understand wealth so I don't become a burden to this man that wants to invest and I don't stop him. I want to be part of this, but first I have to understand it by myself in my own terms. So I started reading, I started learning books, and I think I brought up the discussion about the book. And he asked me, we were eating dinner and he asked me, do you know the difference between someone that is rich and wealthy? And I'm like, what? What type of question is that? And funny part, in Spanish, if you translate rich and wealthy, means rico. That's it. There is only one word, one definition. So I'm like, there is no difference between a rich person and a wealthy person. There is a huge difference. Rich typically refers to individuals who have a high income, high paychecks, and big amounts of money each month. This status is usually characterized by a high salary or business. They're making a lot of money from their business. They have a luxury lifestyle. They love spending. They have like liabilities like expensive cars, homes, designer items. But it's short-term financial success because if they get fired from that job, they lose that income in a second, and now they don't have anything or money, other incomes or assets to afford their expensive lifestyle. So there is people that make $200,000, $300,000 a year. They have huge income, but they have no assets, no investments, no net worth. So what is your net worth? Net worth is what you actually own, is your assets minus your debt. So if you have $10,000 saved right now, but your credit card, you own $6,000, then your net worth is $4,000 because debt, you have to subtract it to the net worth. So net worth is what you actually own after you paid everything, after you have no debt. That's your net worth. So that's a rich person. They have big fat checks every month. But even if the fat check is high, they still live paycheck to paycheck, because if that source of income is cut, they have no assets and nothing to afford their lifestyle. Now, a wealthy person is more than just having money. It's about accumulating assets and resources that generate income for long-term financial security. This financial status is categorized by a diverse portfolio of investments, passive income streams. That passive means you don't have to work. You just get paid month by month, like the rent. Rent that or tenants from the commercial and from the residential. There is, we just sold one 3 months ago. So there is 2 commercial and 2. So one commercial has 2 tenants, the other commercial has 3. So it's 5 commercial tenants, and we have 7 properties for residential. So the rent from those incomes, that's passive income. The asset is the property. And there is a wealthy person has financial independence and long-term financial planning and stability. So even though we get cut from one source, let's say that a tenant leaves today, no worries, we might be tight, but there is many other that are affording that. And even all tenants leave from the property, we can still refinance and get from the equity, from the value of the property. So that's wealth. Wealth is having the assets. Being rich, yeah, is getting, like lots of money each month. But at the end of the month, you haven't saved, you haven't invested. And if that income is cut, then you can't afford the lifestyle that you have, acquired. So that is the difference between being rich and being wealthy. And that's something I did not understand. And I'm like, what do you mean rich? Somebody that has money? Yeah, both have money, but if you see, it's different. And the goal, of course, is be wealthy and rich. Why not, right? Like I get to have assets, but I get to have big amounts of money each month coming in and keeping it in. So the top 5% of wealthy people in the US, according to like some stats, you have to be net worth 2.2 million. Net worth. We're talking about net worth. Welcome, Jess. Net worth. And this is after you pay all the debt, after you pay all the mortgages, after you pay everything that you own. That is net worth. So it's important to know this, specific context of rich and wealth. In Spanish, there is no translation. When I always teach in my YouTube channel about money, and I was trying to teach about this concept, and I'm like, I cannot find a translation for rich and wealthy. It means the same thing, rico. And I'm like, no wonder why, like sometimes we get confused. And I can teach it in Spanish. So I did my best to explain in one of my videos in Spanish about rich versus wealthy. So our goal is to become wealthy. That's where generational wealth comes, because you can pass down the assets, you can, reinvest. Like we just sold one property, it's a duplex, we just sold it like 3 months ago, and that money is invested money. We're not touching that money. That money is going straight to stocks. Now we're getting into stocks. So $500,000 is going there. And see, I don't get triggered anymore about the 3,000 of the palm trees. Now like $500,000, put it in the stock. We are learning that. And how I made it my new normal, I had to work through these triggers fast. If I want to reach the top, I cannot let some palm trees, some service for construction stop me. The painter that is charging $10,000 to paint the whole building, I cannot stop that. Yeah, maybe there is other ways that I can make it more cheaper, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop right there. Like, oh, it's too expensive to invest. We can start with little. So just like I ask you, is your money rich or sad or happy? You can ask yourself, am I rich? Am I wealthy? And what I want to be, where I want to go, so you can start taking the aligned action to start saving, to have some savings so you can invest. If you want to do real estate, you can start putting aside money to have the down payment for a property. or to start cleaning your number. What is it? Your credit score to qualify for a loan, have savings as reserves, because sometimes they like to see, oh, you have income, but do you have savings? Can you afford 3 months of the payment for this property? So you want to set yourself for success to start creating wealth, right? We don't want to be just rich, because if we get big amounts of money each month, but we still like spending it all, looking rich, but at the end of the day, we don't have assets, then it's like, okay, maybe, I just want you to ask yourself, what's your goal? If your goal is being rich and you're happy, as I say, all of us have free will here to do whatever we want. But if you want generational wealth, like I do, I really want generational wealth. That's what we're building. Then, okay, or priority is investing. Just like we were living in that 1-bedroom apartment, we did not care about having nice cars. I had a Toyota Camry 2001. I love that car. I finally changed it for the Lexus. But see, like I did not care about having a nice car. I had the title of engineer. I was working. And I'm like, you know what? If investing is going to make me rich and quit my job, let's do it. And we were tight for it for like 2-3 years, especially 2020. Nobody wanted to nobody wanted to open new businesses because everything was shut down, and we were just making the payments for mortgage and not getting anything. And this is our second property. Make it your new normal. After the first one, we were so confident in commercial, and guess what? That's my new normal now. Trips to Home Depot to drop $1,000. Trips to Home Depot to drop like $4,000 for wood and materials. This was our material construction site. We had 3 men working for us, and full day. Imagine what's to pay a general contractor for projects. Of course, my mentality before was, I want that money for me. I want to go spend it. But then I started transforming and making it my new normal. If I want to be an investor, I have to be okay spending and investing money and not questioning, like, why are they charging so much? And this is the day that we actually took the lease sign, like a huge company. This one is in San Pedro. The city is called San Pedro. It's Los Angeles. This beautiful property has 3 doors, which means 3 locations, 3 offices. This one, it's a farmer's insurance. Our tenant, it's still there. This one, see, we remodel and we put this on beautiful wood, we put lighting, and that's when my skills as an engineer came, right? I'm like, okay, I think I know how can I do this, and then we designed it all by our own, and we put the lighting, we did some nice architectural design, and we leased it. Is this one right here. It's a beautiful unit. It has 3 offices, a conference room, storage, a kitchen. It's like for an office space. And we leased it to a company for ships, like for, like shipping containers and stuff. And that company is doing well. So if the business is doing well, we're doing well. It's like, I love this type of clients and relationships because I want your business to succeed, because that means you're going to pay rent, and that means I'm going to succeed. So, I love this transaction. And this right here, where my husband is, we will stay late working. This was our office. We ran our office there to manage our own properties, the residential and commercial. This is me in that little office. I will spend a lot of time there. But when we moved to Texas, we leased it. So we made another $1,000 a month. It's like, we're not going to keep an empty office, like lease it to someone that needs one office. So this is how you can start making it. But if I wouldn't believe, if I would put my desires first of, I want to go spend money and I'm not worthy of investing, this is too hard and too complicated, I would have sabotaged this opportunity that the universe gave me. And many people can think, oh, you just marry a rich guy. Even to marry a rich guy, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared. Those men like to invest. Those men like to take action. And if you're acting all scared, like, no, then you're not going to be a compatible match. You have to be a vibrational match for wealth. And I don't care if it comes from the husband, from the friend, from a business, from a job, you have to be okay being around it. And as I say, he was wealthy, not rich. And once he met me, he's like, you made me wealthier and more rich. He's like, once I met you and I, got myself with you, I feel like the business just blew. And this is how we got together these properties. And then now the house in Texas. And this is an investment property too. We don't have it as a primary residence. We do it, through the business. We're like, oh, that's just another investment. Who cares if I live here or not? Nobody knows. But the thing is that even if women think, oh, I'm just going to marry a rich guy and that's it. Be ready for the type of conversations this man is going to have. Be ready for the type of conversations the friends are going to have. Are you going to be comfortable being around that wealth? His family, be ready to get triggered. You're going to be asking like, oh my God, I'm not enough to be here. I'm not enough to be in this dinner. Oh my God, he's looking at. So even marrying a wealthy man is not. Women that do it, congrats. If that's your goal, go for it. I don't care. Claim your wealth in this universe. But I'm just saying, it's not like just easy. Like I just marry and then the chip gets programmed in my brain. Like I know about wealth and investments. It has been a long journey for us to learn about these and to pay the employees and to pay construction. And sometimes we will be so tight. But I didn't care. I saw the vision. I was learning about investments. I quit my job and I'm like, if I quit my job, my secure job, this has to work. This is how much I believe in it. I'm going to trust it and I'm going to give it all. Thankfully, we didn't have Maya then. So we went full throttle. Like we went, you know what? Let's do it. And my husband said one time, we were in the truck going to Home Depot and he asked me, oh my God, I think we're tight. We're not leasing this place and 2 tenants are not paying rent because of COVID. And I asked him, how tight are we? Because I've been tight. I told you girls, I was homeless in that hotel for 3 months with my mom in Oklahoma. I asked him, how tight are we? Like, do I need to go? I know how to get my way around. I can go to churches and ask for food. How tight are we? And he started laughing. He's like, not like that. I'm like, I know struggle. I know struggle. You tell me what to do and I'm down. And he was like, girl, like, okay, we're not that tight. Like we can eat. But he meant like, we can, we live in one of our rental properties. We did not pay rent. We lived there for 2 years. That's when we had our baby daughter. That's the property I told you that we have there when we go back. It's a beautiful antique building. But of course, we wanted to go buy new cars and new luxuries and go eat out. And we're like, no, we're going to keep it low key. We're going to eat Chipotle and eat at home and not buy new clothes or new expenses. That's what he meant by tight. When he said we're tight, I meant I'm going to go to the church to ask for food because that's what me and my mom did. In Bakersfield, in Oklahoma, I do remember churches always came through. Thank you, universe. So, and there is more. There will always be more expansion to do. When you get to higher levels, there will be more to enjoy, but more inner work to do. So please be ready for the new triggers that are going to come in the next levels. The more you climb, the more limiting beliefs are going to show up. Sometimes we think that we're going to heal. And, oh my God, I changed my mentality about money. Now I'm rich. Yeah, once you get that money, you're going to get scared. Now you have to learn how to take care of it. All of a sudden, I was dealing with lawyers and signing prenups and learning about like to create a trust for properties and transferring properties from trust to trust. I don't know anything. I didn't know anything about that. So going through the whole legal process of buying a property, I was not ready for that. And I know once we start here in Texas, there is going to be new things that are going to show up. And once I start making more money, there is new things that are going to show up. So the higher you go, don't think that it's clean out there. You get better at working through your triggers, and you get better at normalizing wealth fast, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to escape those things. you know? So for example, when we moved here, when we decided to buy the house last year, this investment property too, a lot of things came up. I'm like, oh, I feel comfortable like investing. I know lawyers, I know the process. I've been designing things. I have an office. I'm good. A lot of worthiness issues came through. Remember the limiting beliefs I told you that money makes me a bad person, and who does she think she is? All of these things tried to sabotage me and made me scared. I'm like, no, maybe I shouldn't move. Maybe I shouldn't buy a house. Maybe a smaller house. I don't know about that. I don't know if I should make my online course. And I try to find things to destroy, you know, to cling and destroy. And I'm like, no, Olga, you know better. You know better. These things are trying to bring you down. And it's your own self, is your scared little girl inside that doesn't want to change, doesn't want to grow up again. So just saying, you know, there will be more expansion to do at higher levels. If you want wealthier friends, they're going to have conversations that maybe you don't feel part of, but that means that you cannot, that doesn't mean you can learn. That means that you can be part of it and then go home and just ask, isn't it that interesting? Just be curious. Isn't it that interesting that I got triggered? Okay, what is it? Let's journal about it. And then now I'm so fast to break these beliefs that I just make it like my new normal. So expand your vision of wealth and abundance. This is a very powerful exercise and a powerful way I started to transform these. So first you have to create your own idea of wealth. How do you want to be wealthy? For what? Do you want to spend all day reading at home? That's valid. That means you're wealthy. Do you want to be on a vacation 6 months of the year? That means wealth for you. You have to create your own idea of wealth and put yourself in higher vibration places. This is a secret sauce. I was uncomfortable being like in nice stores, in nice restaurants, because I didn't feel like, who does she think she is to be here? You know, like I can't spend that amount of money. So you have to start getting comfortable being around luxuries and wealth if you want to become wealthy, a wealthy woman. Because as I say, if the millions of dollars show up today, you're not going to know how to act, or you're not going to know how to be around this money. So you need to start training your nervous system right now. Start learning about what are some perks about being rich. You know, follow like these expensive luxury Pinterest pictures or Instagram, like just expand your vision for what's out there, because we don't know at some point, at one level, we don't know what's up there. But once you start expanding that vision of abundance and wealth, you kind of start expanding, right, the images in your brain. Learn the lingo of wealth. This is very important. Books, financial literacy, that's where I started learning all of these. I have a list of books. If you guys are interested, I can add it to the description. Once I upload this class into your student portal, I'm going to add a list of books that you can start. Just even if you don't understand it, just listening to it is going to reprogram your brain. Go to luxury boutiques to practice being a customer. You don't have to buy, just go sniff the perfume, go try the handbag. I was so scared the first time. I went from like donation clothes to like luxury brands because I put myself in those vibrations. I started practicing and make it your new normal fast. Don't stay like, if you get something good, if something good is happening in your life, you get that, you made more money, you got a raise, you got something new, make it your new normal fast. Say, this is my new normal. Like right now, my new normal is having a pool in a house and a cinema in my house. That's my new normal. I don't take anything less. Like that's my new normal. And sometimes when I moved here, I was about to get sick because everything can be perfect, right? I tried to manifest a stomach bug, and I'm like, no, we're not doing this. This is my new normal, and you're gonna get through it. And I talk to myself rough. I'm like, girl, you need to. I have compassion for myself, but if I want to keep acting up like a peasant for a week, I'm like, no, this is your new normal, and normalize it fast. And here is some pictures how I normalize it fast. I started wearing the nicest things I have in the house. I started going to nice restaurants. I told my husband, if we are going to go to a restaurant and get a babysitter and get your mom to babysit the baby, I want to go to like a 5-star restaurant. The first times, of course, it was awkward. Now it's my new normal. I don't take anything less. Here in the Chanel store, I was just acting like if I was going to buy. I didn't buy anything that day. I was trying, see, like the husband is right there. I was trying the bag. I touched the bags. I acted like I'm a customer, and I added my name to the list, because in these places, they make your profile, and you just say, let me know when the piece is available, and I'll let you know if I can buy it. Practice. Make this your new normal. This is not going to happen overnight. So start embodying wealth now. This is how you embody it. Affirmations, repetition, that works. But once you put yourself in the vibration, it's times 10. See, here I bought like a little brochure. I think it was for Valentine's Day. My husband gifted me like a brochure. So I went, and then the second time I felt so happy and comfortable around it. I'm acting like if I know the crew. I'm like, where is the champagne? I wore the nicest dress that I have in my closet. Always do. You are worthy of it. Don't save it for a special occasion. I went and tried some pieces of jewelry. I only want nice places. Here I came to buy the house when we flew to Texas, just to buy our house. Oh, I love this picture. This is called the Pelican Resort in California. It's one of the most expensive ones. It was this night. We went for Father's Day. And being in this vibration one night, the rates are, I think, 2,000 or 3,000 per night. That was a huge expansion for both of us. For a hotel for a night. And let me tell you, those $3,000 made us way more money, because even he was like, oh my God, look at all that is possible. Like, so all these cars outside, rich people walking around. We ordered room service. We ate there. Just being in that vibration, in the next following months, we saw more wealth unfolding just from this one time. And that's why I love this hotel. This memory of this, like the Pelican, it's called the Pelican, brings me so many good memories. This is how I have normalized it. I was born in Guatemala. I showed you pictures of me before. This was not me. This is a whole new identity. You can see here I'm embodying wealth. Before I was not. I was like kind of like tense and shy, and I just wanted to hide. Now I'm like, I'm worthy of it. Me coming to this world, I'm already worth it. Nobody has to give permission. You have to give yourself permission. So this is a perfect way. There is nice malls right here. Just go walk around, put your nicest dress, and it's going to feel awkward. I'm telling you, but then it's going to become your new normal. This is how I have made it my new normal. I have a dress right now. This is how I dress at home. Of course, I have leggings, and I put all of that clothes too. And, you know, I have my clothes, but I most of the time I try to make myself high vibe, you know, all those beautiful clothes in your closet, the red lipstick, just put it on. Girl, you're going to start embodying wealth. So start embodying wealth and abundance now. Because when the money shows up, it's like a training, right? When you go for a job training, you start training, and when the job comes, you're ready to start practicing being wealthy right now. Because if you were already abundant, will you save 9 things for special occasions? Allow every occasion to be special now, and start enjoying and wearing your stuff. Let it be no big deal. Pour all that expensive perfume. If you're home, I just like put it all on. Otherwise, it's going to caducate, right? It's going to expire right there. Just wear it, make it your new normal. Like, no big deal. This is what I'm used to. Because the $1 million, it doesn't come with the financial literacy or the millionaire's identity. If you get right now $5 million, it doesn't come with the chip in your brain that is going to, all of a sudden, you start embodying that wealth, you know? And all of a sudden, you know about financial literacy and lawyers and stocks. So become right now the vibrational match. And that's how I started, you know, practicing little by little. And maybe if I didn't have enough because we were investing it all, I will buy cheap clothes that look good, that make me feel good, and put everything on me. And then I feel like that vibration of embodying attracted me more wealth. So I know we're running on time, but I do have an exercise, and this is a very fun one, because right now we're going to expand our vision of wealth. Because we think we know wealth, we think we know rich, but with this exercise, we're going to expand the mental images. Embodying being expensive to normalize wealth. Yes, Jess. Yes, dress for the life that you want. Exactly. You have to dress for the life that you want. If you want to be a millionaire, start dressing with all the expense. I know you guys have beautiful clothes. All of us do have those shoes, that makeup, that jewelry. Start wearing it. Happy to have you, Jess. I know you're at work, but let's do this exercise. 1,111 desires. With this exercise, we're going to expand your mental images of wealth and richness. You have to increase your probabilities to become a millionaire. So with this exercise, we're going to give directions to the universe to let them know what you want. Follow to get inspired. Follow to get inspired. Like follow rich people to get inspired. Sorry, my English and Spanish sometimes. But you have to follow rich people to get inspired about their lifestyle, places they go, favorite activities, sports, and all of that. So if you think about $1 million, I imagine like a big block of money just sitting right there on the table. That's one image. Maybe $1 million, maybe you see the numbers, right? Like 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's 2 images. So in your journal, and I don't think, this is a dare. I don't think you can make it happen. I don't think you can write 1,111 desires. And I'm daring you because I actually want you to try. I am, I think, at 700 or 600, and I run out of things to write. And every time I look, I expand my vision. You know, I follow rich people. I watch House. I watch all of these things. And I'm like, one more idea. And I write it down to the list. So in your journal, make a list of 1,111 desires for your health, your body, your family, relationships, wardrobe, cars, houses, luxury vacations, restaurants, etc. List each desire that you want now and keep going 10 or 20 years from now. For example, I want you to be very specific. So in your journal, I don't want you to write more love or happier relationship. That's very broad. I want you to go, one desire is going to be many kisses from my husband. Right? That's one idea, one desire. Second will be romantic dates at fancy restaurants. That's 2. To make it more official, look up, Google the most expensive restaurants and say a date at Master's restaurant. That's number 3. See, and if you become more detailed, you can reach the 1,000 desires. And this is going to help you expand your vision. So for example, I have a list for my wardrobe. I have many lists. I have a list for the relationship with my husband. I have a list for Oikis, my business. I have a list for friends. I have a list for me as a mother. I have a list of houses. I have a list of wardrobe. Let's say the wardrobe, because those are material things are a little easier to see. So for example, right now I put Valentino shoes. Yeah, there is like 1,000 of Valentino shoes. So that doesn't count as one desire. You have to put Valentino shoes, 4-inch heel, color tan. Once you get specific, see, you're expanding your vision. And that's why I ask you to go to restaurants, to malls, to expensive stores to know what to add. You need to know that what's out there. So when I go to expensive stores, I like to see all the perfumes and I take pictures of it. And the one I like, I add it to my list. That's one desire. And then I see a lipstick that maybe is too expensive, whatever. I add it to my list and I want each color. And I want new shoes and I want that. So what we're doing with this is we're giving directions to the universe of what to get. Because we can, for example, if you tell the universe, build a house, and the universe is like, okay, but you're not giving me directions. How tall? Is it 2-story? Is it brick? Does it have 3 bedrooms? Tell me details. So when we expand our vision of imagery in our brain, this is what we're doing. We're giving the universe directions. We're telling it, I want these shoes in black. I want these shoes in red. I want this bag in this color with this size. I want romantic dates at an expensive restaurant, and even better, write the name of the restaurant. I want romantic days with red roses. I want, you can get so creative. And if you write the name of your dream car, guess what? In 5-10 years, you're not going to want the same car. So you're going to want a different car. And this home is not the only home you're going to live at. You're going to live in a higher home. So write down walk-in closet. Who wanted a 2-story closet? Who wanted this? See? So I want you to be specific with your desires, and I dare you to write 1,000. I haven't. I keep writing and writing, and I'm like, oh my God, it's so much. And that's why I watch unboxing. I love watching unboxings on YouTube, like about these purses and stuff. This is going to help you expand your vision of abundance. Because sometimes we want more money. Yeah, but what are you going to do with that money? Which jewelry do you want? Which nail polish do you want? What massage do you want? We have to give directions to the universe. Just ask, ask, ask. Let's see what else. And make wealth your new normal. You need to start feeling wealthy and making it your new normal. So when you acquire wealth, you will feel normal. It's not going to be a big deal. And please start training your nervous system now, so you won't sabotage when wealth and abundance show up in your life. Because a lot of people self-sabotage. They gain weight when they get money. They get divorced when they get money. They lose friends when they get money. It's like the curse of the lottery, right? Like I know my mentor always shares these, that people that win the lottery have the broken mentality, the poor mentality. They're not ready for big millions of dollars. So when they get that, they spend it all, ruin their relationships, start using drugs, and they end up worse than they started before they even won the lottery. So don't be this person. Start training your nervous system to enjoy now. Because women tend to sabotage when a lot of happiness shows up in their life, when a lot of abundance and big amount of money show up. For example, you fight on vacations. There is many that go on a nice vacation and it's beautiful and it's the most expensive one. And then something has to go bad, right? Because you are not able to hold a lot of happiness and a lot of like just great things and great services and food, that you have to kind of throw a fight so you can feel comfortable. Like, see, nothing is perfect. Like I knew. Or manifest an emergency because you just got paid, you just got a raise, but now you have to pay this emergency because see that extra flow of money you're not comfortable having. So you manifest an emergency or someone charging you or something like that. Or even worse, you will push a good man away. Because if you're not comfortable about being a good man and you think that, oh, I like men that are these and he's so boring, and you push the good man away because you're not used to being with somebody that is healed or that is wealthy or that is whatever it is. Or even worse, you gain weight. I gained weight when we bought the second property, and especially when we were when we're gonna buy this house. I caught myself gaining weight like in 3 weeks, like fast. And I'm like, okay, so girl, like, no, you can have it all. You can have the wealth, you can have the house. And I call myself and I'm like, isn't that interesting? And I was like eating healthy and I was gaining weight. So it was not like the food. It was my subconscious that all of this is perfect. Something has to go bad. And I call myself and I'm like, And I did whatever I had to do in my journal. I talked to my my mentor. I'm like, okay, we're working on this. We are working on this. I'm not going to let this sabotage my happiness, my wealth. So we have to do inner work to be able to enjoy money and not be intimidated by it. Don't be intimidated by when money shows up, when you meet wealthy people, when you hear about wealth. Just be curious to learn. because having wealth it's your birthright. It is. It is. I don't care whatever say. We are here to be wealthy by our own, with our own means, with like if people give us stuff, we're supposed to be wealthy. And I know this. We women need money. And we get to be wealthy in all areas of our life. You don't have to choose, as I say, you don't have to choose to be rich, but then you got a divorce, or you don't have to be in such a loving relationship, but because of that, I can make my business, or be so fit, but I can manifest money. Like we can have it all, and we can be wealthy in all areas of our life. And I feel so happy right now with the life that I have. And I know, like, I tried to sabotage at the beginning of my marriage, like, this is too much, like, no, like too much good, and this man is actually good and healthy, and I didn't know any healthy men out there because my dad was the worst example. And I'm like, no, I get to have it. I'm going to become the woman that I desire, and I get to have the money, the loving partner, the dream body, the successful business, the dream home, the amazing kids. You are worthy of having it all. And it's never too good to be true. Sometimes we feel that it's too good to be true. I have to like do something happens, something is too good to be true. And even like it still happens to me when I feel like, oh my God, something is happening. I start feeling like a sore throat, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. It's summer. I'm not going to get a sore throat, because I started getting a sore throat Monday, and I'm like, I'm teaching on Wednesday. Girl, you're not doing that. You're not sabotaging your class. I drank my tea, and I'm like, I am healthy. I started doing my affirmations and practicing like being healthy. And I'm like, it will show up at all levels. So tell me, girls, how are you doing? Jess says, I see you want to practice now, so you feel that being wealthy and holding on to wealth. Yeah, so you feel safe being wealthy, exactly. So you're not going to get triggered and all of that. So how are you girls doing? I know we're a little bit over time, but when it comes to about talking about money, we can go for hours. And this one is important. Don't worry about how. All of us worry, how am I going to make money? Where is it going to come from? How am I going to find the perfect partner? How am I going to make this money? Don't worry about it. Have faith and receive money from all sources. As I say before, sometimes we don't limit the universe. It will choose the path of least resistance. As I say, I was trying to manifest through my business, and I was like laser focusing, and my husband is like, hey, we just made this money right here. Can you see? And I'm like, no, I want to sell these. And I was so stubborn, and I'm like, you know what? And he kept showing from different, portals. And my husband was the path of least resistance. And with these years, I've been able to expand to other paths. But at that point, he was the one. And we have intellectual property that is, domain names, like www.donna.com, www.coffee.com. Like those are domain names. So if you own like certain good ones, like for example, www.wealth.com, that's probably like millions of dollars. Just the name, that's called a domain name. And I remember that one time, I think is when I was doing my course, and some girls signed up, and I'm like, there was like 3 months that I have no sales, and I'm like, why am I not selling? Why am I not selling? Trying to be so mad at this course that I created to manifest, and we just sold like a $25,000 domain name. And I'm like, there you go. It's coming from different sources. Don't tell the universe where it should come from. If you're getting paid from your parents, your husband, this job, this career, this bonus, accept that all. Don't let the universe like this. No, if it works, it works. It's a perfect example. When I created this class, I wanted like, maybe it's going to be a big class. I wanted to have like people enroll. And I was laser focused on this class. And then I'm like, no, I'm not going to limit you, universe. Let it happen. Let it be. If it's not this, it's something better. And guess what? 3 clients sign up. And I haven't even promoted my life coaching package. So I'm like, I see you just want to give it to me from different sources, and I'm here for it. I am here to receive it. So don't block it. Don't put name on it, don't put a label, because you don't have to worry about the how. And this is